If you've tried using AI to write Algorand smart contracts, and you probably realize it's not very good. It will use deprecated syntax and outdated libraries, and for the most part, you're lucky if your code even compiles. But the good news is we've spent the last few weeks trying to fix it, and we've come up with a really solid agentic workflow that is going to help you ship better code faster. So let me show you what we've cooked up. So we open sourced a repo called Algorand Agent Skills, and this has two parts. The first part is it contains a bunch of agent skills right here. And what these are basically just structured markdown files that your agent can use when it tries to do something. So this skill, for example, is called the Build Smart Contracts skill, and it just teaches your agent how to write smart contracts. So it has a bunch of best practices in it, like, for example, never use PyTeal or Beaker. That's very helpful. And it instructs it, like, use value semantics over reference semantics because that's what the AVM uses. And we've written about a dozen of these. We have everything from migration guide. So if you're migrating from Teal script over to TypeScript, you can use the migration skill right here. We even have skills for bootstrapping a project from scratch. So if you want to tell your agent to create a new AlgoKit project for you, it can do that. And we have a few front-end skills as well. So LLMs also really struggle with integrating different wallets on your website. They struggle with incorporating the clients for your smart contracts. And the agent skill here just helps your agent figure all that stuff out so it can actually start creating some nice front ends for the smart contracts that you start vibe coding, hopefully, using this setup. And the second piece are these MCPs. So MCPs, if you don't know, it's just a protocol that allows your agent to reach out to the outside world. It gives it tools to fetch data, to interact with things. And we have setup instructions for two different kinds of MCPs. One is the Kappa MCP, and the Kappa MCP is actually the engine that powers our documentation website. So now you can have the semantic search that's available on our documentation directly inside of your agent. And we also provide setup instructions for a GitHub MCP, which we use to retrieve canonical examples of smart contracts and other types of Algorand code, just so your agent has all the information it needs to really do a good job for you. But let's take a look at writing a smart contract using an agent without the skills, and then I'll show you the difference of what it looks like when you're using the skills and the MCPs and everything. And you'll see it makes a huge difference. Yeah, I'll demonstrate that in the next section of this video. So here I'm inside OpenCode, which is basically just a open source version of Cloud Code, and I'm not using any agent skills or anything. And I'm just going to ask it to create a smart contract on Algorand and just kind of see what it comes up with. So right off the bat, we can see it wants to use Teal. That's most likely the language it's going to stick with. They tend to either use PyTeal or Teal, but obviously that's not great because modern smart contracts are written in either native Python or TypeScript. So let's see what we've got here. Looks like it wants to create a counter contract. So this is like a really common example where you create a contract where users can call it and increment a number. And in this case, it looks like it's actually writing PyTeal. So yeah, we can see right here is the import statement. So this is a PyTeal contract. And this is what's typical of an experience when people are trying to use LLMs for Algorand development. And like we said, it's using outdated code, deprecated libraries, and overall, it's just not a great experience. Okay, so I'm back inside OpenCode, and let's ask it to show me what an example smart contract looks like on Algorand. And this time I've got the agent skills set up, I've got the MCP set up, and let's see what it does. So it looks like it's loading some of the skills that I installed, which is really good. It's loading the build smart contracts skill. It's using the Kappa search MCP. So this is the same engine that powers our documentation. And now the agent is using it for like general knowledge retrieval. And yeah, here's the result. So it looks like this looks like correct TypeScript code. This is Algorand TypeScript, and down here it's got some Python as well, just using like a standard hello smart contract. And at a glance, this looks accurate. Like I think this will compile. So you can see it's much more robust. Again, like the workflow that it does is it loads the agent skills, and then it uses the Kappa MCP for general knowledge retrieval, and then that gives it enough context to actually create working Algorand code like this. So it's a huge improvement over a workflow without this stuff. And I'm not using like a frontier model. I'm using like a pretty kind of a dumb model, if we're being honest. But if you use something like Claude Code with Opus 4.5, you can definitely one-shot some pretty complicated smart contracts. But don't take my word for it. Try it out yourself and let us know how it works. So I hope I was able to show you what a big difference that it makes installing these agent skills and MCPs. And we've linked the repo and the full setup instructions and everything down below, so definitely check that out. And we've also made a Discord channel called Agentic Dev. That's linked down below as well. So come hang out with us, come ask questions, tell us about your agentic setup, or show off what you build. And yeah, we'd love to chat with you. And like I said, if you do end up making a skill that's useful and you want to share it, don't hesitate to submit a PR. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and go try it out.